record. I just have a quick, and I might as well not even say it because I probably don't do anything quickly, and let alone express a thought. I just came across something about self-love, which is a little challenging. Oh, there's a band-aid on my face from some punk ass at the club who was drunk and tumbled about with a cigarette in his hand and hit me in the face. As you can see, it's close to my eye, but it didn't hit my eye, so that I should be thankful for. But the peeling cigarette-sized burn on the side of my face, I'm not at all thankful for. That explains the band-aid. Back to self-love. There's a quote that I was just listening to while watching a video from Davey Wavy talking about what makes one dateable, and at the bottom or at the end of it he has like a list of other YouTube celebrities talking about love, and one person mentioned if you have to have self-love because if you don't love yourself then no one else can love you. And I have accepted that because there's something that feels inherently true in that statement, and I actually trust that intuition we have where we come across some sort of truth that we know the moment we hear it, or the moment we encounter it, be it through sound or whatever. You're just like, that is true. So for a while now, I've come to accept that self-love is a foundation that sets for healthy, romantic, and loving relationships. Though I've always felt, does it equal someone else can't love you if you don't have self-love? I was like, there's something a little off with that, because I think you can not love yourself and someone will still love you. Not just your mom, but that's one example. But I think there are some folks out there who are really don't have a concept of self-love that can find loving relationships with people who love them. Some of them actually really good. But I had to, and it's taken me such a long time to figure this out, and I think I've finally got it. Why self-love is important for a relationship. Why you should have it first before entering into one. It's not that without it you can't receive love from another. I don't believe that. You can, but I think it sets the baseline for what love should be. If you love yourself, then you have a better understanding of how you should be loved. Not to say that there is a way someone should love you that is better than another. In general, love is pretty good, but there should be some caution in relationships because there are plenty of people who don't know how to express love in the best of ways. And this is my nicest way of saying there are some folks who are so fucked up, pardon my French, that when they think they're loving somebody, the way they know how to express it is through some really messy, nasty, sometimes pretty damn harmful ways. There are people who are in very abusive relationships where both people truly love each other, and the abuser truly loves the person that he or she is abusing, yet they don't know how to express it, and they use abuse as a tool to communicate that love while also expelling a lot of their personal ish. And it takes a person who lacks self-love to be in such a situation without understanding when to stop. I don't necessarily want to get into the abusive versus non-abusive kind of mentalities yet, because that's another thing, but there is some truth to the element of the abused person has to lack a certain level of self-love, maybe not when they started, but probably happened towards in the middle somewhere, or even when it started, to where they reached a point where they were so dependent on the love they received from the other that they couldn't live without it, even if it came with punishing pain. So in that one example, it's clear to me why self-love is important, because self-love is your buffer against that kind of abuse. A person who loves themselves would be able to state that this is not healthy for me, and not only do I love myself enough not to endure this kind of punishment, but I also don't need your love as one of the anchors in my life, because your love comes with such terrible side effects. I have enough love of self that I can sustain my own foundational need for love, which we all have, a need to be loved, while going through life with friends and family and such, until I find someone who can indeed provide for me the kind of love that's healthy. Therein lies the power of self-love. It's a good buffer against pretty bad expressions of love that can be dangerous to one's ultimate well-being, and it also helps keep you out of the trap of what do they call those relationships where you need someone to need you and vice versa, or you can't live without this person's love and without it you're hopeless. Dependency. Yes. Relationships can be kind of dependent, and in some places codependent, because you thrive and need that other person's love. And that is another example, besides for the abusive relationship, which of course always comes with some level of codependency. The non-abusive codependent relationship is also another example of one of those situations where self-love is probably missing for one or both parties, because without that other person's love, they can't make it through life. They need another person to love them because they don't have that foundation of their own love. This is what makes it hard when people lose their parents, and be thankful to all of you who have both of your parents, as am I. Thank you, Lord, for having that. But, they're the ones who provide you, and those of us who are blessed enough to have it, that kind of the closest possible thing to get from unconditional love, especially mothers. And it's one of those foundations we have that helps us grow and continue through life. Without them, we fall back on relationships. Friendships, which can be very good and powerful and provide that love, and especially romantic relationships. But the need for love is one that we can't do without. It is on the list of primary needs with food, water, and all that stuff. Believe it or not, it's been tested to be true. And so we have to find a way not only to provide our own needs as far as food and water and shelter, but also to provide our own need for love, so that we can survive in a way that is healthy, not only as single individuals, but especially in relationships. And that is why you need self-love to have a good, loving relationship. Because without it, you may end up in a trap of a relationship that could be less than healthy, and you wouldn't be able to leave it because you can't let go of that other person's love, because it's the only anchor for true love, closest to unconditional that you can get. But if you have your own base of love, then you know better. I love myself, so I know what that feels like and what it should be, and this isn't exactly it. You can be more assertive in your relationships, because partners have to learn how to love each other appropriately. No one ever knows that off the bat when they meet someone. So if you have the self-love, you can be able to assert without being harmful or necessarily defensive with your partner on the techniques and expressions of love that work best. So I don't begrudge anyone who feels that you need to have self-love in order to know what love is. Well, that I understand. But those who say you need self-love in order to get it from someone else, that I don't agree with. But in order to know what really healthy love is, you've got to have that first. And if you want to proceed with a healthy relationship, that has to be there. And this is where I'll honestly state, self-love is one of the biggest challenges in my life. I happen to feel like I really like me, I'd be great friends with me. Loving me is really a foreign concept, and I've been trying to work on that for a long time now. And this is one of those things my brain has been pondering for a while. Why is self-love so important for a relationship? I know it's true, but I had to know why. So that's my expressing my opinion on that topic. And this is pretty much as close to quick as my videos get.